What's up, YouTube? We got a nice rainy day. Just did some choring, picked up a nice shed for outside, one of the big old plastic ones that you don't need to get a permit for. Knocked out the fire pit. And now, since it's raining, and I'm completely out of space, I'd like to get this bike back in the garage. Also, yesterday I was putting the roof rack that I picked up at the junkyard on the van. That's on there. Also decided that we're going to rip this thing apart on the interior and get this dolled up for Simcoe. So we're going to be redoing the ceiling, putting some Dynamat insulation in, make it a little bit more roadworthy. Super glad it's about done. I got the dash ready to go on that. So that'll be going on soon. Finally got the rest of that figured out. But it's raining and I don't have room to bring that in here, so goal today is to clear off this table, and in order to do that I need to finish putting this motor together. It's pretty much there. I got the timing water pump on, however there's no gasket on there because I couldn't find it the other day, but I got a new gasket for that. So throw some silicone on that, slap the water pump together, then I'll open up this intake manifold and take a good thorough look at this. I'm going to run it as is for now. I know a lot of people would recommend, especially going on a 2B track car at some point. I'll go through and report out that manifold, and I go through and port the heads. That'll be a winter build project. But for right now, I'm going to get set up, grab some tools, and start blasting this thing apart to reinstall it and try and get all the crap off of that table. Now we're back looking at the water pump. Pretty quick and easy. I got all the bolts laid out, all the right washers and everything. So essentially this is all mounted. Just mounted everything to make sure that that timing cover gasket is seated properly, since that had silicone and stuff on it. So this is going to be as quick and simple as undoing the bolts. Basically, we're just undoing the bolts to throw a gasket and some silicone in between and then put it back together. There we go. Now we're back to a bare timing cover. Find the gasket. New timing cover gasket. There's a couple variations of these. The older style pumps like this uses this sealed off flange area. The one that I thought I had laying around was for the newer style like this. This will not work on this motor. This will. So I'm going to take a little bit of silicone here. I usually don't do the entire gasket on these, especially with a brand new timing cover. Just going to put this around the ports. Glab it onto one side. Put it around the water ports. This will help it stick in place too. But we have a brand new water pump, brand new timing cover, so the mating surfaces on this should actually be in pretty good shape. If you're putting on an old water pump or using an old timing cover, you probably do actually want to silicone the whole gasket, but in my experience, the only main issues for leaking on these is going to be around these water jackets. Or not jackets, but the water ports. Just one glob of RTV, set it on, and basically just work it with your fingers. Some people wear gloves for this. I probably should, because it makes a mess. RTV is a pain in the ass. It gets everywhere, sticks to everything. And just like that, we're done. Clean up my hands real quick. If you guys are sick of Ford content, I got a bunch of stuff on some motorcycle builds that I just posted as well. I'm doing an Evo Sportster for Justice, the employee that works for us up at the shop. You might even get to see him walking around the shop shirtless, ladies. But I got that one, and then I got the shovel head dash video that I just about done with. I just got to get a nice enough day and nice enough weather to let everything dry out, since I don't have room for all my bikes in the garage right now. And then as soon as his Evo Sporty project is kind of done and up and running, I also have it's titled as a 69 iron head project that we're working on. I had to do some case repair on that one. Re-welded up the cases, picked that one up out of a barn fire. But back to the Ford. So the gasket's on. When you silicone those ports, those sections will keep everything in place, which is nice. Another advantage of doing it that way. And when I pulled the water pump, I left all the bolts in exactly where they're supposed to go. So now we just play the line them up game and drop it back in. I like to start at the top one, just get a little bit of the tension off of having to hold it in place. And we'll just go hand tight on a couple of these to get them started. So I'm not driving an impact right into a hole blindly and stripping everything out. If you're super particular, again, every bolt on this motor has a torque spec. I don't know what it is on this. This is not usually one of the ones I'll usually put a torque wrench on. But we'll go snug on all of these first with the impacts, just to make sure everything's seated properly before I actually go around and tighten this down all the way. These outside ones tend to go in a little bit slower just because you're going through the cover and the block. So you're basically going from the bolt through the timing cover, then into the block. Alright, we got the timing cover installed, water pump installed, so that half of the motor is now done. Put your cap back on your RTV before it dries out on you. And then even though I hit those with the electric impact, it really kind of depends on how much battery life I got left on there. That determines how strong these bolts go in. I'll go around and just snug them all up with a regular socket and a ratchet. Nice even pressure all the way around. Next up, intake manifold.